Welcome guys to Web Dev Mobile Dev, and in this new video on creating a custom React data table, I'm going to show you guys how to implement the table resizing functionality or the column resizing functionality. So when you hover over here to the end of any column, you have this resize icon given to us. So you can now resize your columns, make them as big or small as you want, and yeah, it's a pretty cool functionality. So let's dive straight to the code and see how that was implemented. So this resize functionality is actually implemented in one chunk of code, and that's found over here. So we have this use effect, and this use effect is practically what contains all the code for resizing columns in a data table. So initially what you want to do is you want to get all the TDs and the TH and store them in this array or in this variable called resizable columns. So we define two variables, start x and start with. So for each TD, start x is going to store the position of your cursor on your document at any point in time, while start with is going to store the starting width of that particular TD. That's the initial width before you start resizing that particular TD or TH. So for each TD inside this array or TH, what we want to do is we want to add an event listener to that TD, and that event listener is this mouse move event listener. So when we hover over any TD, what we basically want to do is we want to calculate how far we are from the right edge of that TD to be able to change the cursor of that TD. Because if we check over here on our data table, when we hover on a TD till we are close to the right edge, the cursor changes to this icon, and that's what we're trying to do over here in all of this chunk of code. So when we hover on a TD, that's on mouse move over a TD, what we want to do is we want to get the entire box. We are setting this offset variable to 8, and that's going to tell us that when we are 8 pixels away from the right edge of the TD, then we want to change the cursor. So this if check here performs that calculation. That's if we are 8 pixels away from the TD or not, and we use this offset variable of 8, so you can change this to adjust how far away from the TD you want to be able to display that color resize icon. So if we are 8 pixels away, we want to change the cursor to column resize, whereas if we aren't 8 pixels away, we want to leave the normal cursor, the normal cursor icon, that's auto. So when all that is done, we have this new event listener, and this new event listener is actually where the resizing action takes place. And we know that that resizing takes place when you click, and that's why we add this mouse down event listener. So when you click on a TD, the first thing you want to check is if you're 8 pixels away from the right edge of that TD or not before going ahead to do any action. So when you click on a TD, you want to get the box for that TD. After getting the box for that TD, still with an offset of 8 pixels, we go ahead and perform the same check with it over here. So when we perform that check, if we are actually 8 pixels away, so if only we are 8 pixels away, is all of this going to happen. So if we are 8 pixels away from the right edge of that box, then what we want to do is we want to get the start x. So the start x is going to be event.pagex. So as we said, this simply tells you where your cursor is at any point in time on the document. So event.pagex, the start width is going to be this.offset width. So the offset width property gives you the width of any HTML element. So this is going to give us the current width of that particular TD. Then we are setting column to resize to be equals to this. So column to resize is the column we want to resize, but this in this case, this is a TD or a TH, because as we said, we're mapping through all the resizable column entries, and those are table headers and table data elements. So this is a little contrasting, because we basically want to resize a column, but here we're setting column to resize to be a TH, and this happens because the default behavior of an HTML table is that when you resize any TD on that table, or when you give any TD on that table a width, then all other TDs on that column are going to take that the same width. So over here on the table, if I give this TD a width property, then all its sibling TDs, that's all other TDs on this same column, are going to take that the same width. Meaning we have to resize the width of just one TD to be able to resize the width of the whole column. And yeah, we actually took advantage of that property here in this code. So yeah, we simply set the column to resize to be equals to this, and that's the TD we are talking about. And we now have this function, and this is actually the resizing function. So this function is going to help us to be able to resize, and you can see we're calling this function over here in this mouse move event listener. So what we're trying to say is on mouse down, we have this mouse move event listener inside the mouse down event listener. So when you click, then you drag, because when you click, then you move. Meaning this mouse move over here is different from this mouse move here, because this mouse move is the initial mouse move when you haven't clicked here on your mouse, on your, well, your mouse button. But when you click on your mouse button, we then have this other mouse move inside this other event listener. So when you click and you drag, you want to calculate the current width, because you want to calculate the new width and set that as the width of that TD. So that's actually done in all of these. So calculating the new width is done in this operation. So we store that in this width variable. Then we want to set the width of the current THOTD to be this new width. Since as this is a number, we just add pixels to that to get the new string width of that THOTD. And in doing that, we're practically resizing, we've practically managed to resize that TD and in turn resize the whole column of TDs. So when all of that is done, we also have this mouse up event listener. So that's when you finally release your mouse button. What you want to do is you want to remove all the previously added event listeners. So you want to remove this mouse up event listener, and you also want to remove the current event listener I just added. So that's actually going to help us to do some cleaning up at the end of, well, the resizing functionality. And that's practically it for the resizing functionality, guys. It's just one use effect which takes effect on the whole application or on your whole data table. And so when you're actually 8 pixels away, we get this resizing icon, and when we click and move, we can actually resize that particular column. And so that was it for the resizing columns functionality. So thank you guys for watching, and if this tutorial helped you to understand something new or found some value in it, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content we are going to be releasing in the future. So thank you guys, and see you in the next video.